G'day traders, welcome to wrap up of Thursday, the 8th of March. So this particular day, looking at the dailies, we're kind of in a situation where it was definitely possible for the sellers and the buyers to come in. No size really convincing at this moment. However, I thought if we did push down, which we started to do, there was definitely a chance that it could hold, and 1355 is a bit of an area on the dailies that's a bit of a resistance area. So if that area held, I thought there was a high chance of it selling off, and I was waiting to see if that happens. But in the end, that didn't eventuate, and the markets did actually push higher. So you can see here at the open, just a little bit of a kick up, and then from there we headed down. So once we're heading down from there, all the other markets started to sell off. There's definitely potential on the downside, and as we're pulling back, an area to really want to test the market and see if it can hold is this little shoulder here for me on the 5 minutes. So you want to see it hold here if the sellers were really in control. Same place as this first pullback power point, this area here on the 1 minute chart. So definitely an area there to see if it hold, and if it did start pushing down, then really look for some sort of sell setup. In the end, the markets all started breaking that area, breaking that shoulder and heading towards its high. It became quite evident as this moving average and all the indicators started to point up that the market was wanting to head up, and the buyers were certainly gaining some control. So from there we pushed up. We started to break these cash market highs. All the other markets were starting to break up. From there we got a little bit of a sideways movement as we're approaching lunch. Then we got this setup here, so a 5 minute fade. This particular setup we look to buy. So overall the area is quite good. Okay, we're pushing up, breaking highs. Everything was pointing up. All the markets were supporting the upside. So definitely a potential for the market to keep on pushing up. And there was a daily high up around the 1360 area as well. However, trading, it's always two parts of trading. There's the area and there's also the entry. So the entry just wasn't the greatest because it was quite a shallow pullback. The chances of it just popping down a bit and then heading up was quite high, and your stop out is not in the best of places in an area like this. You want to see is a little bit more of a pullback, and ideally an entry around 1356. But in the end, it worked quite well. From there, the market pushed up higher and headed up towards those daily highs. From there, bit of a sideways period. As we're coming out of lunch, it just slowly grinded to the downside. And basically we're sitting here and waiting as it's pushing down a little bit here, looking for it to break and see if it wants to go to the downside and get back on side with those that bit of a sell-off we're having on the dailies, and see if it starts breaking support levels. And basically this is a support level here. We want to see the ES and all the other markets start breaking down through that area if we're going to get a sell or an opportunity to sell. In the end, that didn't eventuate, and we started to head back up. So as it headed up here, technically there's a bit of a 5 minute fade set up, so you can see the moving average is still pointing down, but overall not the best of areas to be looking at selling yet. It needed to break lower. Unlike this area over here, it was quite clear that the market wanted to head up, had all the support on the upside. Just the entry wasn't particularly great, but the area was good. Okay, as far as two parts, whereas this one here, looking at a fade here, the area wasn't good at all. Even though we're starting to sell off, there was nothing convincing that the sellers were around yet, and they could quite easily pop up like they did. What you want to see is it break down through support levels and see other markets doing the same, and then get a bit of a shoulder forming, and then look for it to break down again and start to look at sell-offs then. But in the end, it pushed higher, so it means that there was a few and far opportunities between today. Really, all the market really did just keep pushing to the upside, and made it difficult as there was no real change in trends or decent pullbacks, and from there you sort of push up a bit higher and then just a little bit of a sell-off to finish the day. On the 1 minute chart, so here we are here, here's this little bit of a downtrend. We pushed through this power point here. From here it started to head up, so this was the area 1355. Thought it had a great chance of holding. So you always want to be put a little test out there for the market. In my mind, I'm saying if it holds here and pushes down, I'm definitely going to look at start selling once it starts breaking down through these areas. But in the end, the market didn't go there. It proved that it wanted to head to the upside, started breaking up here. All the other markets started breaking up as well. So from here, definitely want to start looking on the buy side, as all the evidence is definitely pointing to the upside. Sideways movement here through lunch, and then pushing up through this power point here, and then again this sideways movement, which we're seeing. It's kind of the trend of at the moment. We come out of lunch and have this sideways range of a couple of points where we see no power points for a couple of hours, and you see it slowly grinded down, and as it kicked up here, this is where you want to see it hold and push down if the sellers were around, but in the end it proved not to be, and that's where we pushed a little bit higher. Then there's that bit of a sell-off in the afternoon. So overall, 5 power points hit today. So quite a slow day. And as far as what the market's doing now, we're still grinding sideways. Nothing's really happening. So approaching Friday, again, there's going to be an opportunity for both sellers and buyers. No major support or resistance levels are really holding up at the moment. So we'll turn up Friday and see what the market wants to do for us then. Speak to you guys soon.